Welcome back. It's 2025, and that means it's time to kickstart Tuesday Night Lights again. I have a lot of changes coming this year. It's the third year I have done my Night Lights show match series. It started as Friday Night Lights all the way back in August of 2023, and I like to think I have evolved this series quite well, and that's not going to change. But what is changing this year of Tuesday Night Lights is that I'm introducing what I'm doing right now, and that I'm previewing the schedule on the day of. I'm releasing the full slate of show matches on Mondays now for a Tuesday night show, and then releasing this preview video every Tuesday to get you in the mood for Tuesday Night Lights later today. And I'm also including interviews at the end of my best of 7 show matches. One of the winning team's players has the option of joining me and my co-caster in the booth for a couple of questions just to make breaks a little bit shorter and kind of get to know the players that compete on my stream a little bit more. But without further ado, I think it's time to preview tonight's January 14th Tuesday Night Lights schedule. You can see the full schedule and the preview of my new schedule graphic behind me, but I'm going to go series by series to let you know kind of the narratives and storylines surrounding the show matches being played on Tuesday Night Lights number 1 of 2025. First of all, UTK versus Alabama, an SEC showdown of two longtime traditional sports rivals, but also SEL rivals, as UTK has a completely different roster. The B team has been promoted up to the A team, so if you keep up with UTK White in the fall, you'll know about UTK's new A team for the spring, as it's Kung Agonize and Jay Jeezy, and these guys are solids. They're around the SSL GC3 level, and we're a top 12 team in the SEL last season, so is Alabama, which makes this a great matchup to start Tuesday Night Lights off. Obviously, me being in the state of Alabama right now, I've got to have some bias towards the state I'm living in, so the Alabama guys are the long-time roster that if you keep up with the SEC, SEL, just Southeastern Collegiate Rocket League, you'll be familiar with, as Chan, Gray, and Trizen have been around a while. They've got a lot of years of experience together. They're currently the best team in the state of Alabama. So one of the best in Tennessee versus the best in Alabama. No better way to kick off Tuesday Night Lights in 2025. It should be a lot of fun. Next up is James Madison University versus UNC Charlotte, and this is a battle of two top SEL schools, even higher up than UTK and Alabama, as these are both playoff schools in the fall as well. UNCC made a run to top 4 in the SEL, but they're returning that same roster with a lot of experience, and Lazy Knight and Bala have a good opportunity here to kind of exercise their might in the region over a James Madison team that has upgraded. Now Gad, Ability, and Pigeon, who you may recognize if you follow NARLCS, because he was just playing in the top 32 round of NARLCS in the Open 1 this past weekend. So huge upgrade for JMU, who are looking to make a statement this spring. And I do have now my new graphics. You can see over my shoulder, wrong finger. James Madison is 1-2 all time in my Night Lights show matches, so they have a good chance to get to the 500 mark. And then UNCC, I'll point out the record, did the wrong thing. I can't figure out which side of the screen the graphics on, but right there, that's a misnomer. They are 5-3 all time. I had an error in the way I was tracking matches all time on Night Lights, but if you are curious about all time records, I do have a spreadsheet for it now. So it's pinned in my Bepic LLC tournaments Discord for those already in it. But 5-3 all time. UNCC are the third winningest team in Night Lights show matches, so I'm sure they want to keep that going. It's the JMU team that is hungry for wins this season. Then, prime time slots on Tuesday Night Lights. Unfortunately, I had a team drop out a little bit last minute, but UNCC and JMU have both agreed the winner of their best of 7 show match will move on to play the University of South Carolina, who, for as storied as they are in the Southeastern Esports League, have only played one Night Lights show match all time, and they did lose that one, but haven't appeared very much on my show match series broadcast. So they're fighting uphill a little bit. SJT, AUG, and Cats are the returning lineup for the Gamecocks, but JMU and UNCC should be really good tests for a South Carolina team that is trying to make a push to the SEL's LAN this spring. They're kind of an outside looking in top 8 roster in the SEL, but if they play to form consistently throughout the season, starting with a matchup against JMU or UNCC, they could be a top roster once more in the SEL. And on the bottom side of my TNL schedule graphic that really hasn't given away who the matchups are unless you know collegiate logos, San Diego State is taking on UT Arlington in the nightcap slot of TNL 1, and this is an interesting matchup. SDSU is the only West Coast team that'll be competing tonight, but they have a lot to prove this spring, and Akinio 5 Stars and AZAP will try to kick off their spring campaign with a win against a UT Arlington roster that also has a lot to prove. These are both former CRL rosters that have been on a bit of a downturn recently. They're both CCS teams as well, and the last we saw of UT Arlington in the fall, they got swept 4-0 by Louisiana in round 1 of the CCS National Championship, which I'm sure they want to rebound with a win against San Diego State for, but SDSU isn't going to be an easy out. They were a top 16 team as well in the CCS and only lost to Cleveland State in Game 7, so definitely the favorites in this matchup, but Caribou, Nava, and Random Shy are definitely players with enough CRL experience to recognize the strength of an opponent across the pitch from them tonight and figure out a way to get the job done. So I'm eager to see who takes this final series of Tuesday Night Lights 1, but either way, great slate tonight. I am so glad these show matches are back. I've upgraded the broadcast package a bit, but really, I hated the kind of 3-month break I had to take for Tuesday Night Lights, but it was well worth it. I had some time to reflect on what I really wanted out of these show matches, out of this series, and I think this spring is going to be a lot of fun and a breakout semester for Tuesday Night Lights and all of its competitors. So I'll see you at twitch.tv/Mr. Bepic tonight at 7 Eastern, 6 Central for the first Tuesday Night Lights of 2025. See you there.